What's up, good people? What's up? This is Sean Taylor. You are now in the no judgment zone with me, discussing topics with no judgments. Again, discussing topics with no judgments. How is everybody doing today? I'm running a little bit behind, but you know, I have a tendency of doing that sometimes. So the title of this message is Focus and Refocus. Okay. I put a picture within the StreamYard that said, don't get distracted. Yes, distracted people distracts people. Okay. To have forward progression in your life, you must be focused on something bigger than yourself. There's a saying, people who are doing more than you aren't talking about you, aren't pretty worried about what you got going on because they're too focused on what they got going on. So when you're focused on something, you have to protect it. You have to protect it. And unfocused people are going to be a distraction for you along your journey of focus. Distracted people distracts other people. And that's why it's important, and I've said it before, you have to be very mindful of the company that you keep. Negative people are very and extremely toxic. So, with that being said, let's say you're focused. Let's say, and listen, people, my podcast is a non-judgmental podcast. It's just discussing topics with no judgments. When I have guests on the show or it's just me, my show isn't based off tearing people down. The reason my show is titled The No Judgment Zone is because people can't be themselves, damn it, with you judging them. People can't really speak their mind with you judging them. People can't stay in their authentic, their butt naked truth and be their authentic selves if you're judging them. If you want to know who the real person is, you have to take judgments out of the equation, which is why I named my show The No Judgment Zone. My show, everything I do, everything I speak on, everything I give you, everything I post comes from someone who taught and instilled me. Now, maybe I did not act on it at the time. Maybe I had a slow learning curve in my younger 30s, but I absorbed everything that person, which is Gwen, which is my aunt, which is my grandmother, which is my uncle, taught me. And then whatever I learned in the streets. There was no father around. Okay. And I'm not asking for no, oh, woe is me or whatever. Here's the deal. Whatever hand that you are dealt, wherever place that you are born in this life, you have to play the hell out of those cards that you are dealt. Just because you were born into poverty, just because you was born into the hood, just because you used to sling dope, just because you got locked up, just because you are a convicted felon, doesn't mean that you can't turn your life around. Doesn't mean that you can't make the miracles out of bullshit of your life and pull yourself out of that gutter cesspool of negativity, of that bad hand that you've been dealt, and crawl your way out of it. Not everybody's born with a man and a woman in the home. Not everybody's born knowing who the hell their father or their mother is, for that matter. There are some people bouncing from foster home to foster homes. There are some people who were abused as a child. There are some people who were molested as a child. There are some people who just never was shown love. No one taught them love. Nobody explained love to them. Nobody even talked to them about credit or how to balance a checkbook. But just because that you were born in a certain place doesn't mean that you can't turn your life around and pretty much surpass those who were born in a good place. Because no matter what negative place that you're in, people always look at where you are. They look at what you wear as a kid. They look at where you lived as a child. And they look at your people and it's like, oh, you're going to be just like them. Let me tell you something. No one has the authority to say whatever out your mouth, whatever out their mouths, and then it comes into fruition, and that's your life. That's why you have to have, when you're focused, you have to have the blinders on to what? You got to have tunnel vision to the bullshit of life, and you got to have tunnel vision to the bullshit of people. just because somebody speaks something about you or your life, or just because you've messed up, just because you've done something wrong, doesn't mean that you can't turn that stuff around. You can turn those things around. I'm living proof. I'm a living, breathing testimony that you can turn any bad situation around. Even if those fools gave up on you, even if they turned their backs on you, even if they betrayed you, even if them sorry dud ass people are talking about you right now, even if they walking around with their nose stuck in the air thinking that they're better, but you got more money in your bank account than they do. They walking around being flashy. And they're looking at you because you got cut off shirts or you wearing just old jeans or whatever the case may be, that there's nothing to you. Just because they think, hey, you know what, that dude ain't nothing but the trainer. No, motherfucker, I own my shit. There's a difference. And so let them talk. Let them say whatever they want to say about you. You can always turn your situation around. And that's why it's important to focus and refocus. You have to focus through the bullshit. You have to rise above the bullshit. You have to get in front of the bullshit. If you succumb to everything a person says about you, if you succumb to whatever they think about you, then that is what you shall be. You have to know that you know. It's like Wynn used to tell me all the time. Sean, it doesn't matter if none of these sorry ass people in the world believe in you. There's one thing that's paramount. There's one thing that is, it means more than anything. What matters at the end of the day, when you lay your head at night, before you close your eyes, what matters is that you believe in you. And as long as you believe in you, Sean, you got all the power. As long as you believe in you, you don't need none of them sorry ass people. As long as you believe in you, you can climb out of any gutter in this world, no matter how deep it is, no matter how dark it is, no matter what you're fighting through as you're going through within that gutter. If you believe in you, Sean, you can climb your way up out of that bullshit. Never allow someone what they think for you to think that's who you are. My mom been telling me since I was a kid, always remind people of who you are. You show them. I'm going to show you what fight is because you don't know what it's like to fight. I'm going to show you what strength is because you have no strength nowhere in your life. Everybody has helped you and gave you and did this and did that. I'm going to show you what a true gladiator looks like. I'm going to show you what a warrior with real war wounds looks like. I'm going to show you what it's like to play injured. I'm going to show you what it's like to play. And when I say play injured, I'm going to use the perfect analogy. Playing injured, when you're depressed, you still fighting. When you have lost, you still fighting. When you are sad, you still fighting. When you don't have no way, you still fighting. When you can't figure it out, but you keep telling yourself in your mind, I don't know how I'm going to figure this shit out, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to somehow work it out. When you don't know and you're still clawing and you still fighting and they expect for you to stay down and they look around, it's like, how is this person still getting blessed? How are these things still happening to him? How is he still doing this? And how is he still doing that? Because they don't expect you to. Never let distracted people distract you. Distracted people, they ain't got nothing bigger than themselves going on in their lives. They're comfortable with complacency. They're comfortable with being mediocre. They're comfortable with having just lifeless conversations and being in lifeless relationships, whether it's friendships or whether it's marriages or whether it's with this lifeless person that they call a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a fiance, or whatever you want to call it. They don't know what it's like. Never let distracted people distract you. You want to surround yourself around people who are focused on something that's bigger than them because they're not going to interrupt your focus. Unfocused people ain't got nothing to focus on but just the monotony of bullshit that makes no sense. That's not pretty much blossoming into anything. They're the same people that's going to be talking about what they're going to do and what they want to do and what they should have done next year in 2023. The same stuff that they were talking about they were going to do in 2022. Nothing never gets done. When you have reinvented yourself and changed and climbed up and done something, and they still a slave to something else, what can they say to you? When they own nothing, what can they say to you? When you can't even Google their ass for nothing, what can they say to you? And you got to have a certain sense of confidence and surety of yourself, because you should look back on where you were and you can talk about where you are right now. See, it's never about what a man or woman stands right now. It's not about the presence. It's where you're headed. It's what you're working towards. You ain't got to boast. You ain't got to boast to them about your hustle and grind. Just be on your hustle and grind in silence. And when they see this and see that, like, wow, 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 dude, I ain't braggadocious. I ain't got to brag about what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep hustling. I'm just going to keep my grind. You do whatever you want to, and I wish you the best of luck, brother. I'm not a hater. I don't even know what that feels like. I don't hate no woman. I don't hate no man. I want everybody to win. And when I see them, when they winning, it is serious inspiration for me. It's like, keep staying on your craft. Your time is coming. So what, you alone right now and you ain't got no man and you ain't got no woman, trust me, this part of the stage, whether you in your life, whether it's by yourself, if you're by yourself right now, you have been broken down and you're being built up, you're being builded up to becoming what that person that is on their way to you, so you can match the same energy. Maybe there's a reason why you're alone. Because you're being built up to match that same magnetic energy that's on your way, so it matches. So you're not with somebody you have no reason to be with. You have no compatibility at all. There is no mental connection whatsoever. The reason why people are in these lifeless ass relationships, because they don't even know what it's like to be with somebody where there's a mental connectivity 24/7, 365 days a year. See, let me tell you something about that mental. That mindset is everything. And that mental connectivity, that's some powerful stuff, man. It would take you to places that you've never been before. It'll make you feel a kiss like you've never felt before. It'll make you feel a touch like you've never felt before. It'll make you feel intimacy like you've never even felt before. It'll make you feel conversation that is so deep and feels so good, and it feels like you zooted, like you high off alcohol, and you feel so good, and you ain't took a swig of nothing, and you haven't taken a puff of nothing. It's that mental high. That mental high intensifies everything in your life, baby. You feel me? You did? You got to understand that. You got to feel that, and you got to grasp that and get that. So stay focused. Be mindful of distracted people. Distracted people come to distract your focus. Let me paint you a perfect picture. You ever been doing something? I'm gonna give relationships. You ever get with people you feeling so? I mean, you focus. You the finest you ever been, brother. You looking the best that you ever looked. Everything is excelling in your life, and then you run across this person. You've been alone for a long time. So yeah, you know what? Hey man, you're ready. You know, it looks good. You don't know if it's gonna feel good. And all of a sudden, man, you get with that person. Now you starting feeling good. Now you starting feeling happy. Now you start getting comfortable. Now you're not taking care of your body the way you used to take care of. You're not getting up at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning like you used to. You're missing the gym here and there. And all of a sudden, there's one day a week you're missing. Now you're missing 2 days a week. Now you're missing 3 days a week. All of a sudden, everything started getting soft and flubby that was once hard and firm and toned and conditioned, but all because of you are happy. How many people have lost the way their body looks because they're in this happy relationship? They've gotten comfortable. Gwen told me something: never get comfortable. Once you get comfortable, you lose your edge. Once you get comfortable, you lose your sharpness. Once you get comfortable, you lose your focus. People start looking good when it comes to the fitness world, and all of a sudden they get comfortable. You have to be uncomfortable. I always take myself to a place and I always scan the area because I want to look at somebody body who is not up to shape and or maybe is the same age as me like that. And what it do, I'm like, I want to look at that on purpose and be like, okay, I want to get uncomfortable. It's like, okay, that's not going to happen to me. And I want to stay, I keep myself uncomfortable on purpose. I don't never want to get comfortable in this life. Once I get comfortable in this life, once I get comfortable in this life, I become lackadaisical. Once I get comfortable in this life, I lose my hunger and my thirst for knowledge. Once I get comfortable in this life, I start being like, I'm not going to go to the gym today. I'm not going to go to the gym tomorrow. And all of a sudden, that body that once looked at close to a Greek god is now on the down. It's on a down slope of mediocrity. That person who used to practice what they preach, I'm, oh yeah, I mean, I work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Well, now that person's working out 2 days a week, and all of a sudden it's like, something is wrong with that picture. I'm not gonna lose my focus because of anything. And if I find myself losing it, I'm gonna realize that bullshit and shit, and I'm gonna change that immediately. I'm not gonna lose my focus because you are unfocused. Be mindful of the company that you keep. There's two types of people that come into your life. People that's going to elevate you and people who are going to make you lose your elevation. You have to be mindful of people who ain't doing nothing in their life, man. Opposed to a person that's doing stuff, person that's busy. See, a busy person and a person that's not busy, that person that's not busy going to be bugging the hell out of that person that's busy. And I can't change who I am because they got nothing going on in their life. You always got to be aiming at something. You always got to be looking for that. Every one of us have rooms in our individual lives, in different places in our lives. We have room for improvement. Distracted people distracts people. Distracted people distracts people. So don't get distracted. There's plenty of people that had got in some relationships, was looking good, doing good, body looking good, they was feeling good, and all of a sudden they got in these relationships, they got comfortable. Now they walking around here looking like a real life Teletubby. Just rolling and Napoleon from place to place, all because they got comfortable. Love is good, people. I'm not downplaying that. But never lose your identity just because you with some dud ass. Once you lose your identity of who you are just because you with somebody, that's a big, big problem. That's a huge problem. So never, never lose your identity just because you're in one of these jive ass relationships. I remind myself of who I am every day. I look back into my past of what I've come from every day. I look at when I hit rock bottom every day. I don't ever want to forget. When I look at the scars on my leg, I never want to forget. It's to remind me of where I came from. It's remind me to never get comfortable. It's reminded me to never lose my focus. It reminds me, Sean, you was in a place where you had nobody. You was in a place once in your life where everybody walked away from you except for one person. She's gone now. It's one of the number one reasons why I struggle with getting close to anyone, because that person I could depend on. That person was always positive. That person always saw the positive out of a negative situation. Now I got to deal with these normal folks. So I become a recluse. Can't trust these fools. But here's the thing. That one person that I had that always had my back, right or wrong, When I was wrong, they told me about myself. Straight up, no chaser. They didn't sugarcoat it. They didn't water it down. They told me about myself, and it hits so harder because you let them down. Because how they view you, it just erased everything of how everybody else viewed you. How they viewed you mattered. Yeah. So when you lose that, it's hard to have that again in any type of capacity. But she always told me, stay focused, son. Stay focused. Remember who you are. Remember where you came from. Remember everything that you've been through. Don't forget it. You don't dwell on your past, but remember what you've been through when weakness tries to raise its ugly head. When mediocrity tries to raise its ugly head within you. You have to remember how strong you had to be to get through what you got through. So when problems comes, you aren't unfamiliar with problems, situations, circumstances, setbacks, failures, letdowns, disappointments, and you keep fighting. You keep fighting. That's what it's all about. Staying the course and always, forever being focused. I love being focused. When I'm focused, I can get so much done. To have forward progression in your life, you got to be focused, man. You got to be focused. You know, when you're distracted, it takes your mind. If I got a task, this is my task. This right here is a distraction. If I'm focused on this task, here comes distraction, trying to rattle me, trying to disrupt my day, trying to take me off the path, trying to put me in a place of being unfocused. I have to ignore distraction. I have to put distraction in its place. And I have to let distraction know. I have to focus, which is me, have to have a conversation with distraction. And I have to let distraction know. I don't care how beautiful you are, distraction. I don't care how tempting you may be, distraction. I don't care how appealing to the eye that you may be to me. I can't allow you to get me off of my focus. You had me a little bit distraction, but now I got to get back refocused. You're not going to be able to use the old Jedi mind tricks on me, distraction. Let me know that I'm too focused. I work too much. I'm a workaholic. See, the too much thing is what is the thing that got me into entrepreneurship. When you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to be super focused. You have to work longer hours. You got to be more creative. You got to use ingenuity. You just got to be in a certain place. And your work ethic has to be bar none to be an entrepreneur. You can't have some standard work ethic in entrepreneurship. You got to be the hardest worker in the room. That's the only way it's going to have a sense of longevity, because you are the hardest worker in the room. When the business only lasts 2 and 3 years, the work ethic wasn't there. The hustle wasn't there. The grind wasn't there. The relentlessness wasn't there. The drive wasn't there. The dedication wasn't there. The commitment wasn't there. The determination wasn't there. The gladiator spirit wasn't there. That warrior fight, it just wasn't there. That's why everybody can't be an entrepreneur, because they don't possess those things. They may possess a couple of them, but baby, you got to possess them all. you damn near got to be a monster. You do. Because you have to do things that some people aren't going to do. You have to have a certain spirit within you, and you have to be wired a tad bit different. Pretty much a step from crazy to be an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, because it's a any entrepreneur you see got an uncanny. They have a work ethic motor in them. You be like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And they breathe, eat, and sleep it. But you have to be focused, man. You have to be mindful of the distraction in others. Because they will come to distract you. They will come to throw you off your game. And if you're not focused, and if you can't compartmentalize through people's bullshit, you ain't even gonna be able to see it. You ain't even gonna be able to decipher it out. You're not gonna be able to have a space of separation, because it's gonna all gel together, and it's all gelling together, and it's all becoming a pretty much a clusterfuck of dramatic proportions, because you're not focused enough to compartmentalize that shit, which means to separate and make to make it what it's out to be, and put those things in this certain boxes so you can deal with those things at certain times. Compartmentalization, you have to become a master of it to get shit done in life. Rome wasn't built in a day. We know that saying. So you have to do what you can in that day. But you have to be a master of compartmentalization. You have to be a master of focus. You have to be a master of discipline. You have to be a master of drive. You have to be a master of relentlessness. You have to be a master of determination. You have to be a master of consistency. Consistency is the key to results in everything in life when it comes to trying to make anything successful. That's your marriage. There's got to be consistency. That's your relationship. It's got to be consistency. That's work. It's got to be consistent. Everything has to be consistent. And if there's no consistency, there's no key to the results. The results ain't coming because consistency doesn't live there. So when you're standing in front of that mirror and you're looking at your body and it is what it is, there's no consistency there. That's why it looks the way it looks. You have no consistency in your life. Your marriage is failing. It's going to shit. It's deplorable. It's terrible because there is no consistency. You make love once a month and you expecting that lifeless shit to work. There is no consistency. You don't talk. You don't compliment no more. There is no consistency. Shit, you ain't got to be a poetry writer, but goddamn, do something romantic. There's no consistency. You don't ever cook for the dude. There ain't no consistency. You talk to the dude like he your child. There's no consistency. There's no consistency. There's consistency of bullshit. There's consistency of selfishness. There's consistency as you're the prize. There's consistency that it's all about you. You got to be more than consistent with the stupid stuff. You got to be consistent with the things that actually matter. And some people are with people, man, because they're comfortable. They don't want the challenge of change. See, once the challenge of change starts to blow, people have to put on all these layers to withstand the coldness of the challenge of change. Because when that wind blows, and it blows cold, people don't like change, man. But growth doesn't come from what's comfortable. Growth comes from what's uncomfortable. That's where your growth comes from. Growth comes from what's uncomfortable, never from what's comfortable. And a lot of people don't actually get that whatsoever. They're so used to um, doing the things that's comfortable. So let me break down that comfortable. See, when stuff goes wrong in a crisis, when things go wrong in a crisis, see, crisis doesn't create character. Let me retort. Crisis, a crisis, any crisis doesn't create character. Crisis doesn't create character. But what it does do, it reveals character. So when things are going crazy, crisis doesn't create character. It reveals the character that's going to come out from within that crisis. You want to see what people are all about? Let them be faced with some challenges and some adversity. Who they are is going to come out. Let pressure comes. Pressure is going to show what lives on the inside of that individual. Pressure. There's some people in this life that when pressure comes, they smile at it. And you look at that person that is smiling at the pressure as if they are crazy. I'm crazy. I know I'm detached from reality. I know that everything upside Sean's head doesn't, you know, it's kind of weird. But I like being weird on purpose. I love being different on purpose. I like speaking different on purpose. I like looking at life different from the way you look at it. I like looking at relationships for what they actually is. I love the challenges. And I'm like, okay, man, this is going to be a good fight. Because I love the fight. So I love that. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight. This is going to be a good opponent. This thing is going down to fourth quarters and a couple of overtimes. But at the end of the day, it's all about who wants it the most. Who want to give a little bit more? Who want to give a little bit? Who wants to give more inches? Who wants to leave it out there all on the field? It's all about who wants it more. See, you got to smile at adversity when it comes. You got to smile at adversity when it comes. Situation problems when it comes. You gotta, okay, all right, let's go. Let's work. Let's work. That's what it's about. How are you going to respond to these things? You know, the right people will find you. They will speak to you differently. They will inspire you. They will motivate you. They will help you heal. They will love to learn new things and help you to learn new things about yourself that you can discover. They will always make you feel at home. They will always challenge your thinking to the deeper parts within to bring those things out of you. You will know who these people are because these people are pretty special. But they're going to challenge you daily. They're going to challenge you daily. A lot of people don't like challenges. A lot of people don't like change. A lot of people don't like discomfort. A lot of people don't like that. They want everything comfortable. That's not life, man. That's not life. Let's check out some of these comments. Lisa Reed says, comfort breeds complacency. This is true. She also says sacrifice is essential for entrepreneurship. Crisis exposes a person's characters. That's who really Wait, crisis exposes a person's character. That's who they really are. People wear masks. It's all these things that she said is true. Every word she said is true. Comfort does breed complacency. That's why you got to be uncomfortable on purpose. Sacrifice is essential for entrepreneurship, but above sacrifice, I will put the most important tool for entrepreneurship, Ms. Reed, will be patience. Without patience, you done. You can have all the damn sacrifice in the world, but without patience, there will be no forward progression. Crisis exposes a person's character. That's who they really are. People wear masks. Let something goes wrong within life. Money, job, come home, the lights off, something's repossessed or whatever. The minute something goes wrong when it comes to that, the person who has been through some type of struggle, they're already thinking of ways. They're already trying to create ways of, okay, what's my next move? But a person who has never been through anything in their life, when things go wrong, they're going to always struggle, even when they're trying to talk you and make you believe into that, like, oh, I'm going to be all right. I got this. No, you ain't. Your ass you're going crazy inside because you're not accustomed to this. People have already been through some things in their life. They're going to be like, okay, all right. That shit going to bounce off like like it's just going to bounce off like a bug just went boom and come back off, and then be like, okay, all right, my next move, I'm going to be doing this. They already strategizing. They already making their next move. They see what the situation is. It's like, okay, I see what the situation is. I'm going to be better than this is not going to happen to me again. I'm going to make sure that this particular thing not happen to me again. My strategy is going to be a little bit different moving forward. Okay, let's move. They ain't got time to be sitting down there feeling sorry for themselves. They ain't got time to be, sitting there crying, moping, and saying, "Oh, woe is me," all into their feelings. There's no time for that. Their philosophy is there's no place for weakness. There's no room for softness. I have to keep moving, despite what I feel. And sometimes you got to thug through the bullshit that you're feeling. Because when you thug through what you feel, that's what's going to get your ass to that gym the next day. When you thug through what you feel, that's what's going to get you through what you've lost. When you thug through what you feel, that's going to get you through that job that you just got fired on. What will get you through when that business just goes up under? You got to thug through what you feel, and you got to strategize your next move. And you always got to be thinking, baby, it's chess, not checkers. The game ain't over with. No one said checkmate. It may kind of look like we had a stalemate. It may kind of look like, okay, I'm going to have to study the board a little bit hard before I can counter the move that life made on me. But I am going to I am determined to make that next chess move, because the sound of checkmate hasn't happened. And as long as I don't hear checkmate, because once you hear checkmate, you officially and utterly are done. You have lost that game. But until you hear checkmate, the game is still live. There's no checkmate. So you just got to sit back. You got to analyze the board. You got to get your thinking cap on. You got to get your creative thinking cap on. And you got to study all the pieces on the board. And sometimes when you get stuck in life, instead of looking at the whole board, you just looking at you looking at pieces of it. No, you got to analyze the whole entire board. And that's how you're going to make your next strategic move. What led up to this point that got me in this position where I can't figure out my next move? Scan the board, Sean. There's still places that you can move on this board. Scan them. But before you make that move, scan before you make that move and anticipate that next move of your opponent, so you make sure you don't get yourself in a line of fire. Be smarter in this next move. Be wiser in this next move. Be more strategic in this next move. You feel me? You dig? So you got to understand that. You have to focus and refocus when it comes to this life. If you do not focus and refocus, you are going to lose. Do not get distracted, people. Do not get comfortable because you finally in a relationship. Okay. Happy for you. Do not get in a sense of complacency, because once you get too happy in these relationships, you start getting fatter and fatter and fatter. Don't stop doing the things of positivity, those things that made you feel good. Don't stop doing certain things just because you with somebody. Be who you are. Don't lose your identity like most people do just because they in a relationship that they waited so long to be in. So happy to get a piece, so happy to have somebody in the bed with them, so happy to do things with that. Is nothing wrong with those things, but you need to stay and be who you are. What does you exercising got to do with anything about the person that you with? Exercise, keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't just eat yourself into oblivion because you think this person is always going to be around because you that comfortable. You start neglecting things. That's not smart. That ain't good. You have to be mindful when it comes to distracted people. Distracted people comes to distracts people. That's what they do. That's their MO. And you have to be very, very careful when it comes to that. Extremely careful when it comes to that. You know, don't embellish the truth. Don't be politically correct with that. Sit down and have a talk with this person. Like, listen, man, I fought too hard to get out of this space that I was in. I don't want to go back to that place. And you have to let them know. You have to let them know. Be consistent, no matter who you're with. And be mindful of distracted people. Be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. And if they got a problem with it, that's not going to work. If any man or any woman has a problem with you taking care of your body, run. Run with a Forrest Gump type speed and keep running, because that's going to be a huge major problem. Because that person don't mind you being mediocre. That person don't mind that you don't want to get better. That person just wants you to be average. They don't give a shit. Hell, they don't give a shit about their own body and their own life. So they're distracted. Do not allow a distracted person to come in your life and distract you. Stay the course. Stay focused. Get you somebody who is just as focused in their own individual lives. Because if somebody is focused on something in their own individual life, they're not going to distract you. They're even going to challenge you to be more focused. They're going to be your biggest cheerleader. They're going to be one of your positive go-tos. They're going to be encouraging you and uplifting you. They're not going to be the crab that's trying to bring you down. Mm-mm, mm-mm. They want you to always shine. They want you to be so focused. Even if your shine is bigger than them, they're going to sit back and applaud and be a fan, and they with you. You know how dope it is to have somebody in your corner that's with you, that encourages you, that hypes you up, that believes in you so strongly, and they just as focused as you are, and they got things bigger than them that's going on in their life, so they not disrupting and distracting your focus. And then on top of it, they one of your number one fans and they with you. How dope is to have somebody that you in a relationship or marriage with, they on the same wavelength as you, but they act like they're your number one fan. You know how freaking dope that is, man? There's no jealousy, there's no envy. They want you to shine. They man enough to fall back and be like, man, look at my baby, man. She just shining. There's no jealousy. They applauding just as loud as the other fans applaud. They in your corner and they your number one fan. You know how dope that is? How many of y'all got that? We don't want to talk about that. Your relationship should be part of your life, not your entire life. That's right, Miss Reed. Your relationship should be part of your life, not your entire life. That's right. We all have individual identities. So that's why it's so important not to lose your identity within someone else. Your part of what you bring to the table is your individuality. You feel me? Your own personal identity. That's what you bring to the table. So why are you going to allow a distracted person to distract your focus? Distracted people ain't got nothing going on in their life, man. Distracted people are cloaked with mediocrity. Distracted people are cloaked with lackadaisicalness. Distracted people are cloaked with complacency. They don't care. Distracted people don't have nothing that they need to focus on that's bigger than them. That's the life that they've created for themselves. So wherever you are, people, like I was talking about in the beginning, it's not about where you stand today. It's about where you're heading. Anything in your life, you can turn it around. You can turn that thing around, even when they all gave up on you. Let them give up. Let them talk. Give them something to talk about, because they're going to keep talking again. Let them do what they do. But you got to be able to starve your distractions. Starve their asses. Don't give them nothing. Take from distraction everything and give distraction nothing. Everything it tries to deter you and distract, ignore it. You're taking away all its power. And you ain't giving distraction nothing. Take everything from negativity, but give it nothing. When I say take everything, that means you ignore the hell out of it. Ignore it. That means when you ignore somebody, you take away their power. Do you know that? When you ignore something that's negative, something that's trying to hold you down, something that's trying to pull you back, something that's trying to put you in a negative place that you fought like hell to get out of, when you starve it, you take away its power. It has nothing. And without power, like lights, it stays in darkness. It can't see. So if it can't see you, now it can't distract you, because you have stripped it of everything. You have put it in a place of darkness where it needs to be and where it belongs. Understand that, feel that, get that. That's all I got. This is Sean. I wasn't going to be before you long. Man, 49 minutes. I meant to do it in 30, went a little bit, 19 minutes over, but that's it. Listen, man, this is the last week. Hold on. We got 1, which is today, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 days of this special that I'm running. Okay. If you need a consultation set, I need you to go through the correct procedures and protocol. It's called professionalism. Go to my website, tailormadetrainingforyou.net, not .com, tailormadetrainingforyou.net. Okay? Go to the part where it says contact us. Put in your first name, last name, telephone number, email, and what you want to actually accomplish when it comes to your fitness goals. Once you hit submit, it comes to my email. I get everything that I need, and then I will contact you back so we can schedule a consultation. Okay? Just go to the website, tailormadetrainingforyou.net, schedule your, not schedule it, but request a consultation. I'll contact you back. And then we'll pretty much go from there. We got 6 days left of this special. Don't come at me February 1st on next Tuesday talking about, oh, Sean, you know, I seen that special. Fool, you had 31 days to see that damn special. And you just not contacting me, which lets me further know your ass is a procrastinator, so you're going to be a problem child. You're the one that hide behind excuses, so you're going to be a problem child. And I don't like problems. Every person that I got as a client, I like them. You are showing me signs that you're going to be a problem, which is not going to be, it's not going to be too likable for you. 6 days. If you're looking for something that's affordable, if you get personal training ain't cheap. If you thinking that personal training is $20, $20 or $25 a session, you, my friend, need you a cheap ass $10 boot camp. That's what you need. Because you are one of those people that put a price tag on your health. That's not going to work anyway. You shouldn't. You for your body, you should want your body to have the best. You gonna put a price tag on it? You gonna shortchange? You gonna make negotiations? Well, I don't understand that. But that's why you will continuously look the way you continue to look. The biggest investment you have that you should be invested in, it should be your damn self. But I digress, because some of you big dummies will never get that, look like, comprehend that. And that's why your bodies will look like melted ice cream. But I digress. Keep doing what you're doing if you think that bullshit shit is still going to work, because it's not. You have to invest in yourself. You are your biggest investment. 6 days, special's gone after that. Don't contact me February 1st. I'm in the run, and I should have cooked. Now I want to hear that. You had 31 days for it. That's a lot of days in a damn month. And if you ain't trying to get, if you don't get that now, you ain't trying to get it. Great special coming on right now, man. And then see, here's the thing. The beautiful thing is that cheap rate that you start out with me on one of these New Year's specials, you are grandfathered in at that rate for life. So when I go back to my regular prices on February 1st, 2022, you are grandfathered in at that rate. The smart, wise person will be like, you know what? I need to get in on a good rate, because just like Sean said, personal training ain't cheap. So if you get on a reasonable rate, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. If you know you need the help and you going to the gym and you're just sitting there like a deer in headlights and you don't know what the hell you do, you need to seek some professional attention, some help from a professional who can teach you proper form, proper technique, how to breathe, how to move, how to eat, the whole 9 yards at a low discounted rate. But if you ain't looking for change, man, it's not going to work for you. Stay focused, refocus, starve your distractions. Don't let distracted people distract you. But like I always say at the end of all my segments, I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too. But since I'm in no possible danger of ever becoming perfect, you will never, ever have to worry about this brother ever judging you. So I want to say me and Brandon Lampley have a podcast going on tomorrow. And pretty much that's it. So I will catch you guys. We just got to figure out, me and Brandon's going to do that podcast. I think we're going to do it around 12, something like that, 11:30 or 12, something like that. I want to say 12. I want to say 12 to be on the safe side. So it'll be me and Brandon Lampley. It would be on, I want to say it's going to be on my show, if I'm not mistaken. So we will see you guys on tomorrow. And listen, man, stay up, stay encouraged. I hope at least one person got something out of that segment. And I will catch you guys on the flip. Remember, love is love, baby. Love is love. Keep it positive, good people. Keep it positive. Starve your distraction. Take away from distractions and negativity. Take away from them everything and give them nothing. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.